So you start with a scene heading, then you get the action, and in this case, because Dave Bishop's scripts are very dialogue-based scripts, we'll get straight into the dialogue. So Dave is sitting at his computer, Now, because we're typing dialogue, Final Draft automatically senses that I'm typing dialogue because it knows, it's smart enough to know that after I finish typing action, I'm most likely going to want to type a character name. It's brilliant that way. Same with Movie Magic. Celtics, almost, it's free compared to stuff you pay money for, and the ones you pay money for, stunning. Like you almost forget about having to format it. If you are worrying about how to format it, as you can see on most packages up the top of the page, there will be a text marker that either says scene heading or action or character or dialogue. Character refers to the character name, and then dialogue refers to what that character says. So far as you can see here, we've got scene heading, then some action, and then character, Dave, me, and then if we press return, it automatically knows that after we've written a character name, we're going to start doing some dialogue. Very smart piece of software. And we can say what Dave is going to say. G'day, and welcome to the Complete Barry's Guide to Low Budget Film. Okay, this is really bad screenplay already, and believe me, most of the ones I start writing generally start bad, but they get good really quick. Did I mention I've been nominated for awards? And then say Dave say we were now, if this was going to slightly raise in production values, I would not be alone. We would cut to a shot of Sarah emerging from the shower. And that would be action. Sarah emerges from the shower, her white towel barely hiding the architecture of her body. That's better writing. And then Sarah is probably going to have to say something. Ooh, careful, I've just mistyped. Sarah comes out, and again, it automatically senses after the action that we're going to type a character name, and it senses that it's Sarah. You were so amazing last night, baby. And see that. I've just typed return after Sarah's spoken. Final Draft is smart enough to know from the scene so far that Dave is the only other guy in the room. So if there are two characters in a room, Dave and Sarah, and you just keep pressing return, it'll automatically prompt you with the names of the next person to speak. So we can do this whole dialogue between Dave and Sarah without even ever having to change the formatting. Dave, you weren't too shabby yourself. Sarah, I love you, Dave, I know. One of the best lines of all time, Han Solo just before he gets frozen in carbonite. The ultimate treat him mean to keep him keen line. This hot princess, she's rich, she's got a lot of money, you got to play the treat him mean, keep him keen. I love you, I know. It's perfect game theory. You're dissing her and yet still validating her at the same time. And there we go, we've got a scene. If we added a third character, Jane enters from the back room. Jane, hey dudes, what's up? And then it's not quite sure which character comes next. If you prompt it, it'll go Dave, but then if you press the first letter of S for Sarah, it'll automatically prompt you with Sarah. So as you can see, Final Draft, Movie Magic, these packages just make script writing an absolute dream. And I've written prose, like I wrote a novel when I was a kid. It was one of the worst science fiction novels of all time. Apparently science fiction is the most popular unsolicited manuscript that publishers get. Like every man and his dog thinks that he can write a science fiction story. So apparently they just get gazillions of bad science fiction novels, and I wrote a bad science fiction novel. Anyway, compared to writing prose, writing for the screen it's an absolute, it's a bludge. It's it's a complete lark, because I've already, in the space that we've been here, typed half a page. If I was typing half a page of prose, it would take forever. To type a 90-page script, if you're on fire, like if you're absolutely on fire, if you are inspired and possessed by the spirit of your script, and I thoroughly suggest only write, when you are feeling inspired. Don't drudge away to go and do something else. Go for a run or something if you're not inspired. But if you're inspired, you're absolutely on fire, and it's a script that's been bubbling away for a while. Maybe you've gone on a holiday and you've had this idea and it's had time to formulate in your brain. But if you're absolutely on fire and you know where you're going with a script and it all just goes perfectly, you can write a feature script in a week, couple of weeks. Really, if you're full time, you can just belt it out. I once wrote a script for Crob and Mandy, as a matter of fact. They've got this great idea for this zombie film that has a really original twist to it that I'm not going to divulge. And they said, look, Dave, you could write good dialogue. Could you actually write the script for us? And it was such a great idea. And they had a really vague idea of where it was going, but it all sort of fitted together really well. I knocked it out in 3 days. I knocked it off on, I think it was a long weekend. I just ploughed through it and knocked it out. So, again, encouragement for you to get out there and do it. So that's it. That's the basic mechanics of how you format, how you write your script, how you write your masterpiece. We're going to deal with some of the mechanics, some of the strategies you can use to actually go about structuring and outlining and getting the script that you're writing correct. But in terms of actually getting the words on the page, that's it. It is as simple as that. And if you do invest in one of the, if you really do think you've got an opus in you, then invest in Final Draft or Movie Magic. They're absolutely sensational packages, and I very much hope they sponsor us. But that's it for this week, and I'll see you very soon on the Complete Barry's Guide to Low Budget Film.